Last year, a bunch of Chicago ecologists who say they were just sifting through permits found something intriguing. Despite taking in millions of gallons of Chicago River water each day to cool its air conditioning system, one prominent building hadn't conducted the required environmental assessments. That building is technically owned by the President of the United States. And now, the Illinois Attorney General and a number of environmental groups are suing the Trump Organization to the tune of $90 million.
How much water is Trump Tower taking in every day?
It's about 20 million gallons a day.
20 million gallons a day. And how does that compare to buildings of similar size along the river?
It's far in excess of buildings of similar sizes, multitudes. So we're going by Trump Tower right now. We're on the east end of their development. You can kind of see some white water next to the wall right here.
Yeah, right there.
Given its history, it's pretty surprising that anyone wants to canoe or fish in the Chicago River today. It once was a dumping ground for everything from industrial waste in the early 20th century.
Human waste dumped onto people in Chicago and
to 800 pounds of human waste from Dave Matthews' tour bus in 2004.
Yuck.
But the state's put a lot of work into helping the river's wildlife recover. To make this happen, organizations including Friends of the Chicago River have released thousands of native fish into the water to repopulate it. And some of the larger buildings check their water intakes 3 times daily to make sure they aren't sucking in fish. But Chicago's Trump Tower seems to have opted out of the river makeover attempt.
We've installed, as an organization, lots of habitat in the river system, specifically for fish. In addition to that habitat, we've stocked almost 300,000 native Illinois fish in this system. So if you're pulling that water in faster than our fish can swim, those fish can get killed in that system. So that's one big concern of ours.
We asked the Trump Organization for comments several times and got no response. So we decided to take a look for ourselves with the help of an underwater drone operator.
So on the screen here we have a live view right from the ROV itself.
And how's the visibility?
The visibility is pretty poor today. But if we get close to the wall, you can get a decent image of the wall there.
Right.
And see if there's any sort of pipes, of course. We can skim along the wall this way and see if there's any sort of holes. There's a lot of holes where there's just missing concrete, so it's kind of, you're not sure if it's an inlet or missing. Oh, we just saw a fish on screen. Little tiny fish, looks like it's about 3 or 4 inches long.
We didn't get very far into the exploration before the Trump Tower security guards showed up.
We're filming for Vice News tonight. It's a nightly news show on HBO. It involves a lawsuit for sure, yeah.
Shortly after that, they called the cops on us. Even though droning in the river is legal, the police told us to take the drone out of the water and move along to avoid holding up river traffic and spooking Trump Tower security.
So I gather that we made the security guards nervous. Okay, all right. Well, thank you.
We're done, thanks.
Shortly after the suit was filed, the Trump Organization told reporters that it was disappointed that the Illinois Attorney General would choose to file this suit, adding that, quote, "One can only conclude that this decision was motivated by politics."
I think that calling it politically motivated diminishes the environmental impact and the environmental reasons for bringing this lawsuit.
Mark Templeton is one of the lead environmental attorneys overseeing the ongoing litigation.
They're the second largest withdrawer of water from the Chicago River, and they're the only one of the top 15 who are not complying with the law. So they can call it politically motivated if they want to, but it is environmentally motivated.
How bad is this environmentally speaking? Because there's also a way to look at this and say, yeah, they're taking in lots of water, they're also putting it back, maybe some fish are dying, we don't really know how much. How should people look at this case?
The problem is, Trump Organization has not even done the studies to be able to answer the question of how bad it is. That's why the law requires that as part of them operating in this way and getting a permit. The Clean Water Act presumes essentially that there is a problem until they can show otherwise.
So you're asking for upwards of $90 million.
That is correct. From what I see is that they consistently are not following the terms of the law.
We know the Chicago River is not going to be the Amazon or the Mississippi. It's a different kind of river. But we know that it can support a really healthy, vibrant fish population. It's 2018. The water should be clean enough to swim. The Clean Water Act called for that to happen in the early 80s. You know, that's what we're looking for.